There is no negotiation with terrorists. What you have are official terrorists and bush terrorists having a conversation. So what you call negotiation is the discussion about sharing formula between the official terrorists who bring the money and the unofficial terrorists in whose name they are collecting the money. It's a racket. They are running a racket in front of you. There's a lot of money in government, and insecurity is one way to collect it without receipts. That's what they are doing. They're just scamming the Nigerians. There is no insecurity in the land that Nigerian armed forces and Nigerian police cannot get rid of under a good presidential system, under a good presidency. They will get rid of it. What they are doing is just scamming you. Just that they are constructing roads to nowhere. They are building bridges that will never finish. There are a lot of projects in the sky. They found out that all other projects, you ask them, where's the road? Where's the bridge? Where's the school? But if they inundate you with insecurity, you cannot, and they say they have rescued 500 children, and 500 billion is gone. You cannot ask for receipts. If they are in the bushes, exchanging food and drinks with terrorists, and tell you that they have spent 4 trillion to keep you secure, you know you can't ask questions. That's why the president will tell you, every president will tell you, I will finish them. But when he comes in, they finish him with money. And he feels, okay, this is an easy way to raise money for campaign. That is why Nigeria has, in the world of hotel business, Nigeria has the highest number of military generals owning hotels, estates, and everything, on a salary of how much?
All right, let's look at, let me play the devil's advocate. If you have made the president today...
Now, enough devils in the country already, but you go ahead.
All right. Let's see, if you have made the president today, how will you address some of these challenges that you have pointed out that have consequence of almost failed Nigerians? How will you address it in 30 days?
The first thing to do is that you have to get a priority right. You have a pact with whoever you are going to make Chief of Army, Chief of the Navy, Chief of Air Force, Head of the IG of Police, DG of DSS, DMI, NIA, Civil Defense. You talk to everybody. I want the terrorists gone in 30 days. If they don't go in 30 days, you give me your letter of resignation. Simple. I'm not recruiting one more person to join you. I'm not doing anything. I am telling you in 30 days, or if you think you can't do it, don't take the job now. So that's the understanding between you and me when I'm giving you the job. And you will say, I can't do the job. Give it to the next person. I retire you and go to the next person. But if I find somebody who says, yes, we die here. Either, sir, I will be dead, or the terrorists will be dead. That is the person who can head my armed forces. Anybody who wants to go and run for governor later, saving money for it, go and find out what is the trajectory of all the service chiefs we have been having since 2008, when they foisted this scam called Boko Haram on us. Go and find out. Their trajectory is towards politics and big business. So I need to put a stop to that. Second, I need to govern the country according to the law. There is no terrorist who should be bigger than the divisional police officer in that division. Anything that will make me have a DPO in a police division that has a smaller gun than a terrorist, I don't have a police. The biggest gun in the land ought to belong to the army. The next biggest gun should belong to the police. And there should be no terrorists who should be able to upset the armed forces. I don't know if you have organized a choir before.
Sure.
Once your choir members are up to 45, you must buy Panadol extra to coordinate them. Imagine an untrained person who happens to be a fanatic or a lunatic, and he says he's setting up a band of terrorists, and they are occupying territories the size of a state. How are they financing it? The logistics of it, the communication, and the whole country cannot raise an army to defeat them. If a terrorist is recruiting, before you can get 1,000 people, the government will know that it's a terrorist already. Government can quietly recruit 100,000 soldiers and nobody will know, and train them. A terrorist can be sponsored by 2 or 3 countries. Nigeria has 146 international friends. Many of them have treaties with us that will not stop them, that will not allow them to give excuses not to assist us. And many of the terrorists are well known. They have telephone numbers of governors. And every commissioner of police in the state has the telephone number of terrorists in that state. So, I will end this scam. Oh, clear. There's nothing complicated there. The real terrorist is the Azo Villa. The headquarters of Boko Haram is the same address of Tinubu. So if you post a letter to Tinubu, if it doesn't come out on time, Boko Haram will collect the letter and read it and pass it to him. They live together. They work together. They plan together. And they share together.
How do you mean that the headquarters, the address is at the villa?
Because the villa, the state house, is where all this criminality is being planned. If you deceive yourself and think that Nigerian army cannot defeat the terrorists, then you don't know Nigerian army. Try and whistle at the wife of a general, and you see how the entire barrack will descend on you. Try and a home minister of FCT could not collect 1 plot of land. You saw how that Navy captain stood his ground there, telling Wike, yes, you are not coming here. Imagine if every captain stood their ground and said terrorists not entering Nigeria like that. If the armed forces strong enough to stop a minister who is representing the president from misbehaving on the land that he has interest, say, I have my orders. So are you telling me if the president of Nigeria gives an order that the whole of Lagos State should be evacuated, the army in Lagos will evacuate everybody? If they give an order that the whole of Kano State should be evacuated, the army has enough capacity to evacuate the whole state. The president made a proclamation, and the entire government house was forcibly evacuated in 1 day. So you are telling me that the president wants to end this thing, he will not end it. But their political money is tied to it. And if you think maybe because I don't like them, which I don't pretend about that. Go and read the EFCC reports on what Jonathan did with the money he borrowed in the name of fighting Boko Haram. You are a journalist. You saw the trials. You saw the investigation. Who was collecting the money? The money was shared to politicians, girlfriends, contractors. Let's say we're even a nation of cripples. That sometimes in the past, there was no proper polio vaccination. And majority of Nigerians are crippled, we have no leg. We have enough resources to hire mercenaries to kill Boko Haram and terrorists and bandits. 5% of the money we make from gas, liquefied LNG, is enough to hire mercenaries. There are countries that are small, like Qatar, Kuwait, and all of that. And they have vast lands. It's impossible for them to raise an army, because the entire population is like a campus, a university campus in Nigeria. But they hire experts, and their country is still safe. How can Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, all those tiny population countries are feeling you can drive anywhere you like. I travel to those countries, I drive day and night in vast open land where nothing to stop you. You want to invade. Nobody is invading them. Your TV station, I've seen you with a number of drones because you like to cover a wedding, a football match, or anything. But our Nigerian police will be using word of mouth to look for bandits and terrorists. They can't even hire a drone. And they have billions. The person Tinubu put as his Minister of Defense, of all the people in Nigeria today that know something about defense, says that bomb cannot enter bushes. That when the bush is too thick, a bomb cannot enter. That's how we can catch terrorists. That is the Minister of Defense. Even in a comedy skit, a Minister of Defense will say, no, this is too stupid. I can't say it. But he said it. So governors who were known and were accused of being Boko Haram collaborators, they are the ones he put in charge of defense. So if you are a terrorist and your best buddy is in charge of the army of the other side, won't you go and buy a bottle of champagne and first chill and say, okay, the business has continued? So they're not serious. It gives the feeling to Nigerian people to make the army look fatigued, so that when you see the army, you don't have confidence anymore. I remember during the time of 2023 election, was late 2022, I was campaigning to Zamfara State. I will go to the border and the army said, sir, you cannot pass. It's night, there's a curfew, nobody can pass here. Yeah. We have somewhere to go. What do you mean by that? They say, Boko Haram's on the way. We say, well, we still have to go. I want to be commander-in-chief of armed forces. How can I not be able to walk around my country again? So if escort us, they said no. So one of my campaign managers, Lawa, said, look, let's go and get a vigilante. And we got vigilante. And they enter our convoy. And we go and we were going and they will say, look at Boko Haram people there. And the vigilante came down, chased them, and they were running and we passed. And I came back and I gave an interview on TVC that, hey, this thing is a scam. I went somewhere 2 days ago and the army told me nobody can pass. And I took vigilante and we chased them away and we passed. That's far back as 2022. It's 3 years plus now. So what I'm letting you know is that big coup in Guinea-Bissau that they just did now. If they tell the 3D, the 3rd Division of Nigerian Army, go and flush them out, they will go and flush those people out. Nigerian Army, Nigerian forces can flush out Boko Haram, and Nigerian police can secure this country if there's a political leadership that says, do it. But there's nobody who is a commissioner of police, AIG or DIG, who too doesn't want to be a billionaire, and a governor, and a minister, and a senator, if that is the business of the day. There's nobody who's a general who sees his cosmate building hotels, estates. Go and take Nigerian Army military intelligence, just watch the spouses of your military officers. See them go to Madeira, go to Dubai, go to Cancun, go to the best places, shopping and buying things which the lifetime salary of their husband cannot afford. When serving military officers are sponsoring people for governor, concerning for that. So, I don't blame them. I blame the person who claims to be commander-in-chief, who is not doing the job. So that is what is happening. And if Nigerians don't understand that the spelling of Boko Haram is the same spelling as government, and that if the government wants to do it, they can do it. And your job is to make them do it.